Well, I don't mind. Anybody can watch this, of course, but this is primarily for a friend and fellow scholar at Brigham Young University, Rachel Cope. Rachel, I'm reading The Slow Work of God, and thank you for this book. I noticed you had a footnote citing Brooks Holifield, and I wonder if Rachel ever met him. It's not impossible, though. If you have, you were young and he was old. But the reason I'm doing this little thing for you, but it's also an opportunity for me to put down in this form some quick recollections about Brooks Holifield. You know, I did my PhD at Emory University, and my first interactions with him was as we'll say a graduate teaching assistant, but there were about 12 of us probably who were helped with their history of Christian thought sequence. I think they had 2 semesters worth of it. And the basic idea for PhD students, you didn't have to be you could be a Bible major, you didn't have to be a Christian. I remember that a friend of mine, Laura Levitt, a delightfully outspoken Jewish feminist, also led a group at least one semester. And the groups were called colloquy groups. We met, I think, probably once a week with a group of 10 or 12 students. The class itself probably was, oh my goodness, 80 to 100 students. This at Candler School of Theology, of course. And so I went to these lectures, and I certainly learned a lot. But here's the thing. There were 2 professors, Brooks Holifield and see the other fellow, I don't remember his name. Oh, Manfred Hoffman, German scholar, good scholar, knew his stuff. But doggone, Brooks Holifield. Oh, what a lecturer. Every lecture was just electric with all kinds of juicy, wonderful details and humor, and they were just marvelous. I marveled at this man's capacity or ability to lecture. And here's the thing. After every one of his lectures, again, 80 to 100 seminary students, Candler School of Theology, somewhere around 1985 or 6, every lecture of Brooks Holifield's was greeted at the end by ovation. Not a polite little clap. They didn't do that anyway, typically. It was a hearty ovation. And I felt so bad for Manfred Hoffman, who never got an ovation. I think probably a few seminary students now and then would do a little thing, because after all, Hoffman was often there when Holifield was knocking it out of the park every time. I even tried, quite unsuccessfully, I'm sure, to do kind of, we'll say, what's a good word here, borrow his lecture on Wesley. You know, I took good notes on it, and it was fabulous. Obviously, I couldn't deliver with his, he was so good. Okay. So, that's how I first encountered Brooks Holifield. Then I took a course, I think it might have been called History of Theology in North America, or something like that, and that's what the course was. So it was historical theology, Americans. I ended up doing my paper on the tradition of Boston personalism. I'll just say And oh man, my thing was copiously researched. You would have been amazed by my footnotes. I was amazed by my footnotes. So thorough, so thorough. And I had a, this is all the greats of the Boston Personalist School. Borden Parker Bound, of course, Edgar Sheffield Brightman, Peter Bertocci, and I know at least one other, and that was Georgia Harkness. And I was really happy to be able to write on Georgia Harkness. Well, on my paper, he only marked up the first 5 pages, and he marked them up. Oh, they were bleeding. I'm a good writer, but he was just showing me, like, you don't need to say this, you don't need this footnote. Like, I was trying to say everything I had researched. I wanted it evidenced. And he was saying, you got to have an argument. You got to have a theme, stick with the theme, trim the fat. I mean, so he did 5 pages, copiously marked up, and then said, all right, and then wrote down, I want you to do the rest of this in the same way. And I think I kind of tried. One of my very rare B pluses in my doctoral work. But here's the part I really want to add. What a master teacher in the seminar setting. Probably 8, maybe 10 doctoral students. He was just as good in a totally different way in the seminar setting. Just a master of leading us through, whatever the text was that week. Just insightful and encouraging, of course, of discussion. Not afraid to let you know when you were just wrong, but in a kind way. So I just wanted to say I love seeing Brooks Holifield in a footnote, and I carry his example within me, though it rarely gets out here beyond my body, but I certainly value those experiences. The only other thing I can really remember, and it's funny the things we remember, isn't it? So one day at the end of a seminar, and it was upstairs in main library there, and so several of us were getting on the elevator to go down, and he was on the same lift ride, and I don't know what the context was, but I know he said this, well, if you scratch me deep enough, you'll find a liberal. It was, and I got the idea, you don't have to scratch that deep. And, you've got yourself a good old-fashioned religious liberal, something to that effect. But I think a very, very fine scholar, and served Emory and Candler and Methodism so well. And it's just fun to think about what it's like to rub shoulders with pedagogical greatness. Yeah.